Hey y'all. So, you should know by now what time it is. It's 7:30 on a Wednesday night and you are here on the Sugar Show with me, Natalie SUGAR Brown, and we're here to talk women's boxing as we usually do and normally do every Wednesday night at 7:30. My face is always in the place. It may be a different place, but you're going to certainly see this face. Hey y'all. Um, so tonight's episode is titled Keeping Up, right? I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It's close to the holiday season, so stuff has just gotten so jammed for your girl Sugar. I don't have I don't think I have all the deets that I want to chat about tonight, but we're going to talk the talk as much as we can, right? Because there's some good stuff that happened if over the past weekend that I want to shine the light on it, and I want to give some baddies they props out here for doing what they do. First baddie I just want to talk about um, is Ebony Bridges. Ebony Bridges, y'all. Um, you know what I'm saying? I gotta speak up for I gotta talk about this broad. She's 9-1 now, right? So y'all know I don't talk about sub 10 fighters, and there was a bunch of hoorah rah about Ebony Bridges because I ain't even gonna lie. Sugar thought she was out here thirst trapping. I don't have images to justify the talk about this baddie, so I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to keep it very basic. You know what I'm saying? Like keep it 100%. Without playing on no words or putting anything in tainting the feel of this, because she pulled something off that is quite impressive. And I'm gonna come back next week. I'm gonna really talk about this broad, these two broads properly, because uh, they put on a show. They put on a show straight till they got in the ring, and I appreciate that. And the show is still going on apparently, because now people are appalled at the behavior, but it was always about women behaving badly, which is what women's boxing is all about. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Don't let these lames out here let you think otherwise. Right? That's what women's boxing is. We are broads that fight, yeah, and we fight for a living. At least most of us try to do it for a living, and some of us are really good at it, and some of us are just works in progress. But across the board, uh, we all with this shit zits. You know what I'm saying? When you meet a broad, or when you meet a woman who will square up, that's a special kind of thing, right? Because uh, very few and far in between you'll meet actual women who fight and will fight and aren't afraid to fight. You meet a lot of broads out there, and I loosely call the term broads. You'll meet gals. Let's call them gals out there who they talk a good game, but when it comes time to put the pedal to the metal, they're just not that gal. They ain't got it. So the fight is, and if y'all will allow me to refer to my device, we're gonna talk about this. And so the fight was between Ebony Bridges and Shannon O'Connell. So Ebony Bridges came into this fight with, I believe, 8 wins, 1 loss. Okay. Like I said, I don't have the deets. And, she came in against who is now a crone. Hey, who's that? Brooke? Brooke talking about girl. Brooke, hey, thank you. Right? Let's talk the talk. We're gonna have to have a double screen on this mug, right? You gonna come on? Let me know if you'll be my co-host sometimes on the Sugar Show, right? Because we got to talk, right? I know we have some fun on here, Brooke. That's what it's all about. I want to get some Brooke Brooks badass Brooke badass on here talking that stuff, talking this stuff, right? So I'm on here, and thanks for chiming in, Brooke. You one of the first misfits that showed up. Um, Talking about this fight now, did you see it, girl, between Ebony Bridges and Shannon O'Connell? If you haven't seen it, I know you heard about it out here because they talking they talking they talking some real stuff about what's going on between these two out here. And like I said, it was just pure entertainment for the from the beginning to now post. So Brooke said she watched it. Brooke, what do you think about this fight? Let me know what you thought about the two going in. And while you typing that up, I'ma share my little piece about these two broads. Okay, so like I said, I ain't even gonna lie, right? I thought Ebony Bridges was taking this thirst trap road coming in. You know what I'm saying? She ain't nobody really. You know what I'm saying? She's coming in. She's weighing in the lingerie, and there's nothing wrong with that. But before you show the tiggle bitties, we real ones out here like to know that you really about this life, right? So it was a big deal, that she had she was fighting with the, sorry to say, tell your business, Ebony, but she was fighting with the implants. And people gonna always have something to say, but I didn't count her out for that. I was concerned about you know the the approach, like I said, coming in titties first. Right, which you know what, sometimes we got to do that. So Ebony came in, she got her record up to 8-1, and she took the like, and she's an Australian broad too. Them broads down there are tough. Okay, I'm not even going to lie. Right, they got snakes and kangaroos and all them things down there, armadillos and all of that stuff. So it down under, it might just get crazy down there. So she got that Australian blood in her, and both of these broads actually are Australian. So I guess they there's some rivalry there with who who's going to represent, or who's representing the set, the Aussie, the best, right? And so Shannon O'Connell now, who is a crone now, I think she's about 39 years old now. Shannon O'Connell has amassed a record up to 23 wins, 11 by KO, and 7 losses, and then she has 1 draw. So she's got quite she's got some numbers under her belt. Okay. um and there's not much footage or anything like that out there on Ebony, so to speak. But Shannon, she's been around long enough for us in the game to know who she is. And Shannon always been that rough and tumble type of broad. Okay, she's gonna go in there and she's hard bodied, right? Like I said, I wish I had the images, but I'm gonna spin back with these things. I'm gonna go into more detail next Wednesday, and you know what? I'm a coordinate with Brooke that we have some real banter and dialogue about this, because I think I need another baddie to chat about this authentic, because this right here is one of the most authentic um encounters uh in women's boxing. This brings it back to the olden days, you know what I'm saying, where we talking shit before we get to the ring, at the press conference, at the weigh-in, right? Get down in the ring, and we still going after the fight. Okay, so O'Connell is a banger. Okay, and I want y'all to visit. I mean, this is now Sugar been at this for a minute, so it's in my later episodes. I believe it's called Styles Make Fights, where I break down the basic, each fundamental style of boxing, and what it had, you know, how it relates, how us women do it. So we got the banger, we got the boxer, we got the brawler, and we got the juggernaut who, you know, does does whatever the hell they do in the ring, right? Because they have no stance, they just do what it do, right? And then we got the fighter. So boxer, banger, brawler, fighter, juggernaut. Okay. So Shannon O'Connell, I would categorize as a banger. Okay, a banger fighter. Okay, so she'll fight in there, and she like to stand toe to toe and bang, and she's tough. She don't care. She one of them bras though. She'll go in there and she don't care if her face come back out looking like roast beef. We it's going down, okay? And so I feel it. Like I felt where she was coming from, where you know, Ebony Bridges, who, you know, ain't really fought nobody, ain't done nothing in this game, going step to her, or went and stepped to her, and signed the contract to fight her, right? As a crone, as a body in this biz that's been around like that, that's kind of disrespectful. You think you could take me like that? So um fight was made. We have all the good things about it. Like I mean, these are in previous. Don't say Sugar ain't teaching y'all nothing, because if you're watching the previous episodes of the Sugar Show, I break down the all the ingredients for a great fight, right? A super fight, mega fight. So we got drama, okay, we got we've got validity, right? So one of these, Shannon O'Connell, she's valid in the game. Okay, she's been around. I believe she's been champion before as well. Okay, it's a legitimate fight. Okay, so both broads are experienced contend. One is, like I said, a crone, and one is now a contender. So it's not a tomato can versus, you know, it's not a picked fight, right? It's not a tomato can versus a made paper tiger. These are two legitimate fighters who are gonna train and go in there, and may the best woman win. And that's what I like. That's why I call this an authentic women's boxing match, right? It's been a while since one of these have happened, and I'm proud of both ladies for stepping up to the challenge. This is what it's about, okay? And so uh going into I'm going to talk about the crone. Okay, so the crone Shannon O'Connell, talking about her is why I'm talking about her is because she's got some names on her Skid Row now. Okay, this is somebody that she didn't fake, she didn't really fake the funk, even though at times she you know, she may have threw some body bags on her record. She's fought some contenders who are still legitimate even now. So that's why I said, you know, it has some, this matchup had the ingredients of a great match. There's some legitimacy with Shannon O'Connell. She's fought Diana Prazic, which who is a great contender. She's fought Hunmi Choi, who is the, you know, who is the broad that everyone's after now. Baumgardner, Michaela Meyer, all them baddies down there in that weight class trying to go. I believe Hunmi Choi is over there in Korea trying to get her belt up off of her, right? So she's fought Sandy Sagaris out of Canada, who is another um, bad contender. You know what I'm saying? So this is Shannon O'Connell, Marcela Acuna, who is a legendary crone out of Mexico. You know, just she got some names. Okay, she's got some names on her Skid Row, and notable names too, and she's worthy of the respect. Okay, she's earned it. But it looks like, looking at her receipt, that Shannon O'Connell was just keeping busy. Oh, she even fought Shernika Johnson and won over Shernika Johnson. Okay, and Shernika Johnson, I think my guys talking fight did a little spotlight on Shernika over there in Australia, because Shernika had a good brawl earlier in the year as well, where, you know, she went all roast beef in the ring too. Like I said, you know, styles make fights, and that seems to be the Aussie style. They like blood, they like to leak, or they don't mind leaking, and yeah, that's okay. You know, but it's different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? Different strokes. So um she fought Helen Joseph. Like, I'm looking at this broad's record right now. Shannon O'Connell. It's a good name. So Ebony stepped up big time fighting this broad. And not only, you know, was it disrespectful, in a sense, to Shannon O'Connell, it was due, right? It was due for um, Shannon to make her mark in the sand now, right? Shannon is 39 years old, and I mentioned this in the last uh, episode. I think last week's episode. When you get to 39, when you get to them later crone ages, it starts getting real disrespectful out here. You know what I'm saying? These young broads, they're gonna want to take you. So you got to stay sharp. You got to be fighting people, and you got to be um I like to say this. We're all the same person. We're the gal, we're the broad, we're the crone, and the crone turns into the dragon. Okay, and I like to tell this story, right? This is my take on fairy tales. Um, this is why I guess I was such a different little girl growing up, because I took those. I'm a deep thinker, and I took those fairy tales to heart, and I realized that the it wasn't about the prince saving the princess. It was about the princess growing into who she was the whole time. And so, listen to this story real quick, and then, because y'all know sugar dip out, then dip back in. There was once a princess who had an evil stepmother, right? Sounds real, yeah, typical of the story. And the stepmother locked her in a tall tower. And not only did she lock her away in the tall tower, but she was guarded, that princess was guarded by a fire breathing dragon. Typical, right? So, when I used to read these stories and when these stories were read to me, I'm like, why? Why did that happen to her? Why? And as I've grown into the woman that I am now, I've realized that it was the same person. She was the same person, right? The whole time. So the princess becomes the evil stepmother. Why? Because you're a princess. Everyone's that little girl. We're innocent. We believe and we're naive and we just think that there's a prince out there for us. And after several heartbreaks, disappointments, we turn into that evil stepmother where we realize ain't no such thing as a damn happy ending. I gotta make this shit work the way I can make this shit work. So that stepmother then locks the princess away deep in her heart. And she's the stepmother. And that stepmother goes through life or that evil witch, stepmother, whoever you want to call her, goes through life bitter, but still has that romantic notion in the back of her mind that she will forever be beautiful. She will forever be loved. She will forever be able to protect herself. And then after a few years of realizing she's only getting older, she's got to prove herself over and over and over again because people don't remember the beautiful princess she was. People don't fear the wicked witch that she can be. So she goes way up into the tower and turns into the dragon. And she breathes fire because by this time she's heard it all. She's seen it all. So when she speaks, that shit's fire. The end. So as I'm growing now, not that I'm bitter, because it's bittersweet, but I'm enjoying my crone-ship. I'm enjoying being a bit of a wicked witch. And I'm embracing the fact that I spit fire at times. So back to what I was talking about. Back to this fight. This crone, Shannon O'Connell, okay, doesn't realize she has to prove herself over and over and over again. So Ebony Bridges with her, the beautiful young princess Ebony Bridges now comes to this crone who's been around, who's been dished a raw deal a time or two, who's been bloody, who's sweated, who said all these things. And you know what? She's now trying to spit fire at Ebony Bridges. She's calling her all these names, skank, all this stuff. You think you can beat me? All these things. They've been going back and forth on this Twitter thing. And you know what? That's a part of the fight too. And then it becomes fight time. And From what I understand, because I've only seen clips of it, the princess defeats the wicked crone, the witch. She stops Shannon O'Connell, and early in the fight too. O'Connell went down in the third round, so she sat Shannon O'Connell's ass down in the third round, and finally, I think it came to be that the fight was stopped because the crone couldn't take no more to beating. And just moving forward from that, I saw clips, and what I saw was the Shannon slipped, right? Shannon didn't take Ebony as seriously as she should have. And what I just seeing from how the bodies are, Shannon O'Connell's body, she's always coming in hard bodied, meaning she's lean and mean. But Ebony Bridges came in thicker than some cold grits. Yeah, she came in. I looked at the two body types and I said, wow, Shannon O'Connell looked like she watching calories, while Ebony Bridges looked like she been eating them yamalams. I know. Yeah, y'all, sugar's silly, okay? But it looked, I mean, this is a part of the fight. This is a part of women's boxing. This is what I want you guys to look at, right? Because it is an objective um uh state, right? I'm working my ass off to get in the ring to whoop your ass. And so all of that work must be seen on my body. So I get it where Ebony Bridges is weighing in next to nothing, right? And I get it where Shannon O'Connell comes in hard bodied, showing that I'm hard. I'm This body is chiseled down and hard. I'm nothing to play with. Okay? But as you become a crone, them bones, if you're not pressing yourself, if you're not keeping yourself in the trenches, those bones do get brittle. Those bones do get soft. And I think that's what happened. Ebony Bridges handed her a great right hand, and she ate that. She ate that knuckle sandwich and dropped. And when she was on her knees, you could tell in the fight that she was thinking, oh shit, what am I doing down here? Which we all do, right? I've been dropped. When you get down there, you thinking, how the hell did I end up down here? Right? It's a place where it's like outer space. I ain't never been down here before. Oh shit, you know? And so watch the fight, because the beautiful thing about the fight is, and it's a, like I said, it's a bittersweet thing. You see where one fighter is empowered and sees now her opportunity to take the crown, and the other fighter starts to realize, these are my last few minutes of glory in this mug. I'm going down in flames. Okay? It just unfolds the way it always does, or it should. When when a queen or when a crone has is booted off the throne. So I'm going to go back to what Brooke said. Brooke said, I've seen Bridges a few times. You wouldn't think she could fight, but she can really throw hands. She's getting better each fight. She's growing. I don't like some things she does because kids are watching. And then she asked me, you? Right? So thanks, Brooke, for that. And I agree, except for this part. Brooke, you know we are women behaving badly. And women's boxing was never for the kids. It just is what it is. I don't think I don't think professional boxing is for the kids, to be honest. But women boxing was never for the kids because no one wanted to see, or no one ever wanted to see us women, ladies, behaving badly, right? So she brings that edge in it, okay, and Sugar has done so as well. I've weighed in not in the type of lingerie Ebony Bridges has weighed in, but I've weighed in and even fought a time or two in some risque stuff, okay, but never the thirst trap. I my approach, or the why I did what I did was to show the masses and to show the mans and everybody out there that, it's women out here like me that we gonna do whatever the fuck we want, right? So I'm bad, period, right? I'm gonna weigh in lingerie. I'm gonna fight in lingerie because I can, because I do what I want, right? And if you bad enough, stop me. So that was Sugar. That was Sugar's MO in there. Um, Ebony Bridges, I still don't know what her MO in there is, right? I like the fact that, she was going back and forth, and she said, "Oh, I'm a skank." Okay. And ended up the skank uh beat Shannon O'Connell's ass in there. So, you know what I'm saying? I like where Ebony Bridges just kind of, because she's not innocent, right? She plays this beautiful princess role really nicely. I love it. I like it. It's a bitchy Disney princess. I like it. It wasn't the pretentious shit that, I'm sorry, it's getting like, I'm sorry, I'm getting potty mouth and I shouldn't be, but it's not the pretentious stuff that Mayor was doing, right? I'm calling names because, Mayor was trying to act like she's this, this clean slate girl next door type of thing, and um but you not really, but you out there, you out with your friends getting drunk on the internet and stuff like that. Like, you can't pick a side, right? So I didn't like that, but I like what Ebony Bridges is doing with where her character and her role that she's playing. And I like that I don't know what it is yet, right? Because it keeps me interested. It makes me want to get to know this broad. And that's what it's all about. That's why I'm intrigued now. Ebony, with um I want to see, I want to see how far you go with this and where you go with this. Proud of you, girl. Kids are watching now. On these threads out here, they talking about that Shannon O'Connell was, the Twitter and the vile things that are said from Shannon O'Connell, and they even brought Shannon O'Connell's child's son into this, talking about Shannon O'Connell's son said these vile things to Ebony Bridges after the fight. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Bring that Grey Poupon shit somewhere else. Okay? This is not a place for that. I hate when you critics come on our threads, come on here talking about behavior and how a woman should act. We are a sorority of women behaving badly. You want class, you want all that, go to a damn beauty pageant, right? I'm sure you could find a damn Girl Scout meeting somewhere in your neighborhood, but we are women behaving badly, right? We gonna say vile things, right? You'll see a titty or two. You'll see a booty cheek pop out or two. That's what we do. We're women behaving badly. That's why people buy the tickets to see us behave badly. They don't care. We can fight, yes. Cause that's what it's all about. Yes, you gotta be able to fight. You gotta know how to fight too and be entertaining fighting too. That's why I said it's not men's boxing because we have our skills too in there. That it is very interesting too. But let's segue into there, right? Let's sell what it is that makes us interesting. Let's sell the fact that we have the grit to behave badly. Okay? And about her saying those vile things, yeah, comes with the territory, right? She ain't a pastor. Okay? This ain't the PTA. And if you, for those who don't know what PTA is, the Parent Teachers Association, right? It ain't none of that. It's women's boxing, women behaving badly. And we getting paid for it. Now, we do this. The thing about women behaving badly is the other genres try to do it, but they ain't got the sauce like us. Right, Brooke? We a bunch of bad broads and we saucy with it. All of us got the different personalities. That's why we're a sorority, right? Because you got to be saucy to stand out in this industry, right? Sugar has sauce. Brooke D has sauce, right? All of these broads got sauce. We all got sauce. That's why we are a sorority, and we need to start repping harder than we do, and we need to start having each other's back harder than we have, right? So I got both these broads backs, right? Right? I got Ebony Bridges back, and I got Shannon O'Connell's back, right? My son, you got to understand that she's a mother trying to do this too. Okay? No one has the book on how to do this and be a mom. No one even has a book on how to be a mom. We try our best. But that's the beauty of it too. Because I was told as a young lady behaving badly, well, you ain't no man gonna want nobody like that. How you gonna be a mom? You can be a mom and raise a child doing that? And I did it all. I did it all. I did it all with wonderful fashion. And we all did it all. I think Brooke got some little Brooks, little children out there, and she got a husband out there, right? Right. These are things that I was told, and I'm sure she probably heard that a time or two, was not that was not possible for a woman behaving badly, right? So I tried my best. I know Brooke did, and Shannon O'Connell's out here trying her best, being a mommy, still doing this, right? And what I did was I tried my best to keep my child out of it. Okay. He saw mom train. He saw Brooke comes in. But Brooke, Brooke, I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna spin back to your previous statements. Brooke says, lies. Men do want badass women. I do have a husband and 3 kiddos. And I second that. We the best. We the fun gals. Men want women who behave badly. Yes, men like us. We're fun. Um, and we're exciting. So all of these things where people are trying to regulate our behavior and regulate who we are and talk about class and all of that stuff. Boo boo, if I'm not for you, change the channel, right? Because I got somebody that like it. I got a bunch of people that like it. So I'm just going to keep being me as we all keep being us in women's boxing because we got the sauce. We are the saucy ones. We're the ones that kept the pot bubbling, right? These MMA broads and these bare knuckle broads and all of that stuff, these lingerie boxing broads, it was, they was doing it, but we was the one that kept the pot bubbling. Okay? So we deserve our respect, right? And if you're not going to respect us, we going to respect us. And we want to respect each other. So yes, Shannon O'Connell called Ebony Bridges a skank and all of that stuff. And yeah, right? And that's something that she'll have to live with. And Shannon O'Connell now has to live with the fact that her son witnessed her get beat. She got her ass beat in front, in front of a stadium by Ebony Bridges, right? That's something that this little boy now has to come to terms with in his mind. Do you think he's gonna say nice things? Because, like I said, I'm a mom and I got a child. I got a child. And let me tell you something. I bring it back to, I tried to keep my child out of it. So my child never came to see me fight because I wanted them to have a peace of mind that they that mom was gonna come home. That peace of mind, that mommy that gets up in the morning and washes my face and brush my teeth and give me my kiss on my forehead. That mom is gonna come home, right? I wanted to keep that integrity. The only fight that my child saw was the fight that between me and Jessica Camara. And the reason why I had my child at that fight is because Jessica Camara did a trifling thing to me and my child. And I had to show my child the spin back. Yeah. So my child was a part of that victory. And there were so many levels to that victory, so many layers to that story. I think I may share it in Sugar's memoir. I got a lot of stories, and a lot of my sorority sisters in women's boxing have shared their stories with me, and I am going to put it together in a memoir, um, to share it to you guys, the rest of the world, because we, um, like I said, we are real life women warriors. We are women warriors. You got women who go to the army and fight for the countries. And yes, those are women warriors too. But we are women warriors, us women who sign up to box, who do women's boxing. We are women warriors too. And it was never a joke what we do. What we do is real. Um, One round with George. Hey, one round with George chimes in. One round with George says, forget Robinson and Leonard. This show has the real sugar. Listen, you just went and got started. You started off good. Hey, thanks for chiming in and thanks for coming in with that wonderful statement. I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna keep going. I'm y'all are coming in with some y'all are coming in with some fast verbiage, and I'm gonna get to each one of y'all's juiciness because I like what y'all are saying out here. But I want to say this. Um that that young man, Shannon O'Connell's son, witnessed Ebony Bridges knocked his mom down and stop his mom. He's not going to have nice things to say or nice things to think about what he's witnessed, right? And as a mother, like I said, when I fought Jessica Camara, and going into the fight, I was a crone. Everyone had written me off. Wait a minute. So we got somebody coming in. Somebody, oh, Oscar, Oskfaf, Oskfaof. This live is real. You for damn sure it's real. It's real, baby. Hey, thanks for chiming in. Um, uh Oscar saying, where do you stream on? My guys on Talkin Fight, can y'all let Oscar know where we streaming in off? I'm on YouTube. I think I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitch. I'm on y'all give him the business. But I I'm streaming. Oscar, this is the Natalie Sugar Brown show, and I'm on here talking about women's boxing. Okay, and this is a show just talking about the authentic life of women's of a woman boxer, right? And I got some real hitters that come on the show right now. A real hitter, a real female fighter in the game. Now a Hall of Famer. I'm so proud of my sister. Brooke D is on the thread with you, so just know you have the honor of being in the company of a champion like that tonight. And I'm Sugar, right? I'm Sugar. Been in the game for years, and now I'm just blessed to have this platform to uh, talk the truth, say what really happens behind the scenes of this wonderful industry of women's boxing. So, yeah, like I said, so going back to the topic, when my son, goodness, I hate to divulge too much information about my child. When my child um, was at that fight, there was a very, very, very high chance that I was going to get robbed in that fight. Why? Because Camara was the favorite coming in. Everyone had already written me off. I had just came off of a loss from Jessica McCaskill, and it was just that now the vultures are the vultures are circling, and Sugar, it was over pretty much for Sugar. And so except for Sugar said, nah, I ain't going out like that. So I sat down with my child for that last camp. I didn't know it would be my last camp, but for that last one. And I asked my child to be patient. I said, I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to go all out for this one. And I want you to be on mommy's team. And my child sat there and thought about it. And I told my child, the best case scenario, which is mommy will win and we will ride off into the sunset. And the worst case scenario, mommy will fight her ass off. She might lose, but we still gonna ride off into the sunset. And my child accepted what mommy was gonna step into. And so I don't know if Shannon O'Connell did this with her son. right? But after this young man witnessed his mom getting beat up in the ring by this young contender, of course, that young man was going to go off. My son, I keep saying, so y'all know Sugar's got a son. My child was in the dressing room in the baby beater, in the baby wife beater, getting ready to tear the damn club up if they robbed their mama, if they robbed his mama, right? Chairs was going to be thrown, water was going to be all over the background. I just knew there was going to be some acting up, and I couldn't stop it, right? Right? Because that's just the climate of it. That's the climate of it, right? I couldn't suppress that, and I knew what I was taking my me because at that time I had now been a single mother trying to do this shit on my own. And so um I realized, it is what it is. So I was going to let my child go through their motions with what I was going to do, as well as I had to go through my motions. So people out here in the boxing world judging Shannon O'Connell and judging Shannon O'Connell's son about the behavior and how they acted in this situation need to sit their ass down somewhere. There are several seats. Find one, right? Because this is not about, like I said, take that Grey Poupon stuff somewhere else. This is real life fighting. This is hitting. This is all the stuff that you tell or you grew up not being encouraged to do. That's what we doing. It's legalized assault. That's what we do. That's what we get paid to do. Okay? So when I hear these so-called, boxing analysts and these people that always got something to say, and these are now the voices and talking about women boxers and in women boxing, it makes me sick to my stomach, because it would take another warrior who has walked the road to really understand what went down and what's going down. Like I said, we sacrifice our lives, our relationships. We sacrifice a part of us to do this. And that relationship could be even a mother to a child. She has to go home and live that disappointment. And she has to go home and deal with it and work through it with her child. You don't have nothing to say about that. Talk about what it is that you can talk about. Talk about the fight. Talk about that she went in the ring and she did the best she could do, and it wasn't her night. She had a bad night at the office. Yes, she was talking a lot of shit. It comes with the territory, which she wasn't supposed to. Where was the rules for all of that? I'm sorry. Where are the rules? Where are the rules for behaving badly? You guys, stop. And us women boxers out there, we need to, I don't like all of y'all broads. I don't, but I respect y'all enough to know that y'all have lives and y'all have to live them. And I can't judge none of y'all. I can't, right? You cross Sugar, right? Then, I'm going to have to put my foot on your neck. But I can't judge you. I can't judge you. I can't I can't walk your shoes. So that's where I am at from that. Okay. And yeah, it's like a preaching type of thing tonight, but I don't have the images. This is just a talk, right? Brooke D said she don't like Ebony's she don't she likes some things, she don't like some things. I'm with you. I'm with you. But I see the broad and this the way she doing it. I gotta respect it. That's it. And that's all. I thought she was thirst trapping, and maybe she is. But she know why she doing what she do. We can't judge her. Um Brooke D says O'Connell, she's decent. I think she's rough and wants to bang. The problem is she can't handle the pressure which Bridges gives. She couldn't take it, and Bridge brought the power this time. You're right. What I like I said, Brooke, I really think Shannon underestimated Ebony. And I think that was a part of Ebony's plan, right? Because Ebony comes out and she's, we have to understand. That's why I explain things the way I explain them, right? Because it's not cut and dry in women's boxing. You have to know where you are in your career and act accordingly. So Ebony Bridges is playing the princess. She's young in the game. She's fresh. She's beautiful. People want her to win. She gets attention. Okay? As a crone in the game, you looking and you're like, I worked so damn hard. And this broad right here, she bounce her titties and wink her eye and you know what I'm saying, and flash a smile. And she got everybody all all in her Kool-Aid. I got something for this one. I'ma beat her ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to the point where you're not that princess no more. I've been that youngin' in the game. I've been that fresh beauty. I've had crones look at me the same way, right? I didn't know where I was though. I looked up to the crones, right? But at that, we didn't have the knowledge in the game. We didn't have the women in the game that was as secure as they are now. Very few. Like I said, Chevy was one of the ones in the game that she wasn't a crone, but I looked up to this broad. And whether we were gonna fight one day or not, Chevy said, I like you. Keep doing what you're doing. You look good. Keep going. And that was enough for me to want to be my best and to keep and hold that respect, not only for the game, but for a broad like Chevy, right? Because we going, right? We as we come into the game, we leave, right? So Chevy's now a crone, and I'm still in my heart grateful for that for that broad who's now become a crone, who's about to be a dragon in this game because of the because of that bit of respect that she poured into me when I was just starting in the game. Um so I said that to say this. You know, Ebony is milking her spot for what it is. I don't think Shannon O'Connell realized where she is. And a lot of it does creep up on you. You don't realize you're the crone. You don't realize it. So you don't act it. I didn't realize I was the crone until after I lost against Jessica McCaskill. I didn't realize I was a crone. I didn't realize that they dragged me, or they had set me up. I'm Sugar, right? My name's good in this game. People respect me. Why? I'm beyond that. They don't do that to people like me. And what the hell did they do? That to who? Me. So when I realized that, I locked in. I locked in. And I sat like a sleeping dragon and waited for the right contract to come in. And like I said, Camara did a real trifling thing to me. So when that I wasn't really interested in taking these contracts because they were shenanigan contracts. But when this bullshit contract came across my desk, I had to take it. It was some bullshit, y'all, right? It was some real bull jive. I they didn't even give me a room to sleep in, right? I was fighting. I fought her. She had she had it all. I didn't. I think I was going to end up being like a Jane Couch and sleep in the stairwell somewhere. Lucky thing that Sugar is loved in the game. So I had backers and fans and people that took care of me in order to take this fight. So I took the fight, and I'm gonna take a page out of the legendary. I call her. She is a legend. Ann Wolf's. I'm gonna take one of her page out her book. I would have fought that bitch for a cheeseburger. Yeah, yeah. That one was on me. Yeah. And so I realized that I was the crone. I took all of what everyone had to say and I armed myself, right? Because I decided to no longer be the Wicked Witch. I decided to turn into the dragon. So I armed myself with the scales to be resilient from people telling me my best times were over. I armed myself against people and what I read and and the snide comments um, predicting what round I would be stopped in because I was stopped previously. I armed myself and I prepared to um, I prepared to eat the princess, which I did. She's never been the same since. So O'Connell hasn't done that yet. And what I think she has a couple more fights in her, right? I think she can lick her wounds. She has a big ass slice of humble pie that she has to take home and eat. And it's okay. It's okay. Right? We all have to have that, and we've all had that in this game. Right? Some are in plain view, like this fight that we're talking about, and some are behind the scenes. But we've all had to eat that pie. Eat the pie. um and so that's what it is, that that's a part of being a woman warrior, a woman boxer. Okay. um Brooke D says, right? I see your point. I love some of it. I don't mind that as much. Some of it is hot and cute. The thong is a little much. And she laughs. But the OnlyFans stuff was a bit much. She says, I I don't do that. And she laughed. So Brooke D, Brooke, listen, because like I said, you was a different type of broad in the game. Brooke D was a different type of broad, like I said. Brooke showed up with the corn, like you see Ebony or whatever, she had the cornrows with. This was the real Brooke was the real one that brought that thug miss to the game. Like she was a thug miss when she showed up to fight. Because we all, have a persona. And I never met Brooke in person, but I just always loved that thug that she brought when it was fight time, and you could see it. You could see it. Um, when she was at her press conference, Wayne, you could see it, right? And I liked it. I like her. I like the sauce, right? So the only, Brooke D, it's a different time. And remember, Mia St. John was kind of around. She was the one that started that. So I think Ebony Bridges is off of that tree, off of that branch of Mia St. John. So she doing the only because Mia was a baddie that did it that angle. Remember, uh Mia had that spread in Playboy, and she sold that damn copy of Playboy until she was retired, until she wouldn't fight no more. Okay, so that was her thing, and a lot of us didn't agree with it. I didn't respect her at the time for doing that, because I was, as a young broad coming up, I wasn't about the thirst trap, and I wasn't brought up the thirst trap. But I respect it now, though, as a crone and a dragon, as someone who's just been every phase in this game. I get it, Mia St. John. I get it. That was just her angle, and she made a lot of money from that angle. And it's something that she's got to live with, right? We ain't got to live with that. She's got to live with it. Um, and our sister, Mia St. John, has had some serious turmoil in her life, uh, you know, since, and it's something that she just has to. She's around. I think she's around, and she's still in the gym, and she's doing what she's doing, and she has always been a woman behaving badly, and I respect her for that. Um, Brooke says, "Oh yes, um, I met her a while back. I love her and what she's doing. I'm not sure who you were referring to. I know you ain't talking. This statement was by Brooke D was made back a little earlier in the show. I'm just getting to it. So she ain't talking about Mia St. John. Okay. Brooke D says we're hot and rough, right? Like, come on. Listen to that combination. And Brooke D said it, right? I ain't tell her to say it. This is a baddie saying it. A legendary baddie, a boxing Hall of Fame baddie, saying that we're hot and we're rough. Who's going to not like that? Who's gonna not like that? Okay. So, and Brooke D comes back saying facts. Okay. Brooke says, Brooke says, yeah, some of us are bangers, right? Because Brooke knows styles make fights, and Brooke has fought some styles out here. And Brooke, I'll say this: I saw Brooke as a fighter puncher. That's the type of style I saw Brooke as. She was a fighter puncher, meaning she wasn't a pretty, but she wasn't in there to be pretty. She was in there. She brought that thug miss in there, right? You want to fight? Let's fight. That's how she was, and I liked her style. Um, One round with George says Ebony Bridges reminds me of Sean Porter. Rough, tough, doesn't mind getting physical. I love her style. That's a good comparison. One round with George. I like that one. Um, I would agree. I would agree. Why too? Because I never. I kind of never understood how Sean Porter was winning, right? Because there are things that I look at generalship wise in the ring, um, for or to determine the winner of of an encounter, of a fight. And I saw Sean Porter as a fighter that went in there, and if you allowed him to get out of control, that was where you were losing. That's where he got you. You had to keep his ass under control, and the generalship is what would always beat a Sean Porter. Hence why it was so beautifully done by my man Crawford in their encounter. What's the first name? His first name. Come on, because he's my favorite fighter right now. The last name is Crawford. Terrence Crawford. Oh, that is my favorite fighter right now. Hands down, that's a throwback. So, how Terrence Crawford dispatched Sean Porter might be the clue on how a fighter would deal with the Ebony Bridges, because they do have um, similar styles. I think Ebony Bridges is a lot stronger than she seems to be, and she proved that in this fight. And what I like about Ebony Bridges is she's a total different person in the ring, meaning that she's bully. She's bully when she gets in there. I'm going to try really hard, and I'm going to work hard to make sure that you guys believe in me when we're outside the ring. And then when we're in the ring, she's the bull. She is in your ass, and she going, you know, and she thick with it too. So she going to be on top of your head, right? Unless you got a plan, Ebony Bridges is going to be upside your head, and I like it. Go on, girl. Um, uh, Brooke D says, yes, I'm an Army veteran too. Haha, did both. Hoorah! Ha! Okay, so see what I'm saying, Brooke D? It's just an authentic woman warrior. Just authentic. It's in her fabric. It's in the fabric of what she is. Um, just mad respect for this broad, Brooke Dedorf. Okay, she got a different Millbrook. Her last name is technically Millbrook, but I'm gonna call her Brooke Dedorf, right? That's I'm gonna call her by my sister name, right? My sorority boxing sister named Brooke D. That's what we all knew and know her as. No mercy. She on no mercy. Okay, she wasn't playing with your ass. One round with George says, no doubt, sugar. I was in the garden for Serrano versus Taylor. Look, the women are doing what the men won't. They fight each other. I I I I just like that you're a fan of us. One round with George. I like that you are a fan of us. You paid your money. You putting your money on our books. And you went to watch Serrano versus Taylor. Um, we're doing what the men won't do. Why we're doing what the men won't do is because we wasn't getting nothing before. So now they throwing us a bone. We'll fight. We were fighting for nothing before. Brooke D has said it. She said I ain't never get paid. I had to be shrewd to get paid. And there were a lot of I got robbed too in the process. I'm not even going to lie. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I had to learn. I had to become that wicked witch, right? And not play about my money, and play about my time, and not play about a lot of things, a lot of factors that these promoters out here devalue, these managers devalue, and these media types devalue, right? I had to teach these people how to treat me. And you're not gonna, in doing that, you're not gonna be liked. And you're not gonna have a lot of friends. But I was never in it to make friends per se. I was in it to know who I am. And in me learning who I am, I had to teach people who I am. And I'm happy with that. Um, Brooke comes in and said, at one round, yes, I've always said it. Women's fights are more entertaining than men's. 95% of the time, we fight. We do, and it's a different fight. It's a different type of fight. I like the way women fight. I like the way women fight. I like men's boxing too. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't like the nowadays fighters. I kind of feel like they soft, right? Compare, especially broads like me and Brooke and Chevy and Kath Collins and the Christy Martin and all just back Barbara Butcher. Like I can't even name all the names. I don't want to name all the names because there was a lot of us. A lot of us. I need to probably do a collage or something. There is a lot of us, right? There is a lot of us whose names were never mentioned. Why? Because people did us so dirty, right? Because paper tigers stole our shine, because of a lot of things that happened. So that's why I encourage y'all out here, right? I encourage my female fighters. Y'all may like me, y'all may not like me, but this is the place. Come here, right? Come here and talk your talk. Come here and say your piece, right? Come here and set the record straight, right? Because Sugar is only loyal to the truth. And as much as I love my ladies, if you want some bull jive, if you want some bullshit, I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Um, it's just me respecting the game and respecting what we do. Let's see. Um, OSK Oscar Oskfuff, okay, says, you are so pretty. Can you give me your Insta? Ooh, oh, oh. You know what? I think I'm on Instagram. It's Natalie Sugar Brown, at Natalie Sugar Brown on Instagram. I think that's my fight account. I don't do the social media. I'll start to do it, but message me, baby. You like what you see? Message me. Um, Message me fun stuff. I've had some real wild stuff in my inbox, in my DM, and I'm not going, like I said, I don't judge nobody, but um, some of y'all are really interesting. One round was, George says, and I appreciate it. Shields versus Marshall, Baumgartner, and Mayer. They fight while guys like Spence and Crawford talk. Now, I say this, in the men's boxing, it's there's a lot more on the line. That's why they take so long. There's a lot more on the line, right? Because um each fight literally for them means their career is on the line. With women's boxing, nobody really knows too much about us. One fight we can be all the way up, the next fight we could be down on our face, and then another fight will put us right back up. So we're able to play that game, right? And we've never, ain't nobody ever really checked for us like that. So we're risk takers. Most of us are risk takers. Most of us are women behaving badly. Like Laura Ramsey said to me, I won't forget that she said to me, she said, Shug, I didn't even train sometimes. I just fought because they told me I couldn't. Do you know do you know how crazy a broad has to be to even do some shit like that? She fought because they said she couldn't, and she ain't even really trained for it. She just knew she was going to whoop some ass, and she did. Right? So we are not doing this for prizes, belts. We from a certain time, it's these nowadays gals, right, who are, you fighting for 2 minutes and you want to get all these big bucks and all of this stuff, right? It's these nowadays gals who feel like, they need to be making money in millions and all of that stuff. Us back in the day, we fought because we was just some bad bitches out here. We like to fight. We like just knowing that we'll whoop some ass, and we'll win some and we'll lose some. And you know what? Sometimes we were supposed to get paid for it, right? But we are rough and tumble gals, right? We may not be for everybody, right? But I've met a lot of people, men's and women's, who have certainly appreciated it. Okay. And so I don't feel out of place. As a young girl growing up, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about Sugar, right? Sugar was quiet and shy because, um, I have I'm an ADHD gal. I have a bit of autism. You know what I'm saying? Dyslexic. I had a lot of shit going on. um, and also my environment that I grew up was very, I had a aggressive environment. So I couldn't articulate what was in my heart and my mind. My thoughts raced 1,000 miles per hour, and I couldn't even make my mouth to say one word. So I had a lot in me, a lot in me. And it would just take one thing to set that quiet little girl off. And she'd tear the whole ass room up. People, when I was done, there are times I'd just black out and then come back, and I'd look around and people are looking at me like, you monster. And I'm like, I straight up Hulk out. And I didn't understand me. I didn't understand who I was. Boxing helped me. Boxing helped me put what was in me into an art form. That's why I'll be forever grateful for those gladiators, those warriors, those men, and those women who poured into me. Because I don't know where I would have ended up. Because that's where the anger was in me, because I could not express myself. I didn't know how. I didn't know who I was. And on top of that, I had people telling me, you can't. You're not. And there's a lot more of us out here like that. And there's more young girls like that out there. I see them every day. I work with children. And that's the reason why I've gone back to do that. Right? Because the people who do that are the real superheroes in this world. They're the ones who save lives. My coaches, my teachers, those people who saw that in me and saw that I needed help, and took the time to rescue me, um, saved my life. One of my favorite sayings, it's a Japanese phrase, I guess. It says, love me when I don't deserve to be loved, right? So a lot of people will look at others and make judgment. And that judgment is what you deserve, what I feel you deserve. But I love, right? Even when I don't understand, I love. Even when you don't deserve it, I love, because that's you. If you could do better, you would do better. I know we're all fighting things inside of us, and it's hard to articulate it for the rest of the world to understand. So I don't judge. I love. I love you when you don't deserve it. Where we at? Ask Foff says, thanks, Natalie. Check my Insta DM after your show. Thanks, it's important. I bet it is. Okay, I'm gonna check. Brooke No Mercy said, preach, girl. Listen. um, I'm a Southern gal too. I grew up in the South, and so that this, I guess it always turns into a sermon, but that's what it is. I speak from the heart. I speak from the heart. Sugar will never. I'm too lazy to be fake. I really am. Um, and if y'all see me putting on, just laugh with me, because y'all know I'm just. Y'all know I'm trying my best, but for the most part, I'm just me. Um, Brooke No Mercy says, we all talk shit. We're going to war. Exactly. Exactly. And this is why, I mean, I just don't get these critics when they say, um, and the vile things, and no class. Class? You come where for class? Women's boxing. I mean, we do get classy, but you ain't gonna come here. Go to what do they call it? Go to those schools that teach etiquette if you want class, right? Because that's not what it is here. That's not what that was never the environment here when I walked into the gym the first day, right? There was no you're gonna learn class here. Absolutely not. The first day I walked in the gym, I walked in watching somebody get their ass whooped. As a matter of fact, the kitchen was so hot, the dude got punched out the ring. And what they did, they got him up, they asked him if he wanted to keep going. They said no. Next. And I became a part of that damn round robin too, right? I'll beat a bitch out the ring, and there were some days my ass was getting beat all through the ring. When I first started boxing, I'm not even going to lie to y'all, I got my ass whooped every day. I don't know why I kept going back. I used to at the end of the night, I'd say, I ain't coming back here. I ain't coming back to this mother. I ain't coming back. Next day, where was Lil Sugar? Where was Too Bad? Back at the boxing gym. And I kept doing that until I started whooping ass. It's just a part of it's a part of the process. It's a part of the process. Um oh, 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 um Chevy's in the building, y'all. Chevy's on the show. Chevelle Hallback is on my show. Y'all, this is another legend. This is Chevelle Hallback, okay? Chevelle Hallback is on my show. Listen, I'm telling y'all this. I'm not paying these gladiators to come on here. I'm not paying. They stopping through. It's all love. Thank you, Chevy, for coming in. And I was going to start talking about what happened to you, right? Because there's a lot of stuff. Last week we visited what happened. Um Brooke D came, and Brooke D was the one that advocated for Chevy. Chevy came out and fought a fighter named Sonya Drilling, and they robbed Chevy of a decision. Everybody watched the fight. Everybody um in women's boxing knows now that this was a robbery. At this point, you know, we're saying, we get robbed all the time, but this one, like, we have to put the spotlight on this, right? We have to respect our legends now. We have, or greats. Chevelle Halbach is a great. She's a great fighter. She's a crone now. Okay, she's 51 years old. So people are always going to try to bet against Chevy. Chevy went in, and like I said earlier, Chevy, I don't think, realized what the climate was, because she's Chevelle Halbach. So from what I understand of this situation, there was a lot of background shenanigans happen, and they did set Chevelle Halbach up for this loss. Okay, Chevelle Halbach has now, her and her and her team have uh, put to the commission of, goodness, let me, because I have the notes here. I have my notes here about what's going on. Has sent to the athletic commission there at the, out in the Midwest, and they're talking about, them revisiting this decision, and hopefully, there would be a turnover of the decision. Let's get a no contest at least out of this bad decision, um, between Chevelle Halbach and Sonya Drilling, because we're not going to, we're going to drag this shit, right? Us in women's boxing are going to drag this. Sonya Drilling, if you think you won that fight, Sonya Drilling, and let's, come on, Sue. I'm hoping you're watching my show, right? Sue, tell Sonya Drilling, because Sue Fox is just like how Ring is the boxing Bible. WBAN is the Bible of women's boxing. I've said it. I said it. I said what I said. And Sue Fox is the lady, the woman behind WBAN, the Bible of women's boxing, right? Sonya, Sue, come on now. I know you can't pick sides, and I know you can't be like me, right? But I implore you to encourage Sonya Drilling to step up and speak about what she thinks about the decision that was made, right? Because there has to be some integrity in our sport, in our industry. We have to do it. We've been depending on these commissions and all these other these other people to do it, and all they've done is rob us of our blood, sweat, and tears, and devalue us. Let me tell you what they're doing now by robbing a Chevelle Halbach of a decision like this. They are cheapening the value of a fighter who has been in the game, who has accomplished all of these great things all these years, right? They're not gonna, Chevelle Halbach's money is now affected by this bullshit loss, right? Because they're gonna look and see that this wet-nosed broad beat Chevelle Hallback and put this wet nose broad on the same level as Chevelle. It's not an authentic defeat like Ebony Bridges versus Shannon O'Connell. These fights are not relative. We are the ones in women's boxing that have to even the playing field. We're the ones that have to see to it that we hold each other's value. It's not a we can't it's not an all for self game anymore, right? If you get robbed, know that if another broad gets robbed, know that that same thing will happen to you. If another broad doesn't get paid, know that that same thing will happen to you. If another broad gets killed, which this is happening, know that it's going to happen to you. We have to advocate for each other. We have to protect the value of what we do. This is a preaching play. This I guess this show is a preaching one. We have to do that. We have to. It's not a, oh, it ain't gonna happen to me, or it's all about me and none of these other female women's boxers exist. It's not that. Cut that bullshit out. It's no it Stop it. Stop. Stop. Many famous names have done that dog doo-doo. And we're just not having it anymore. It's tired, it's old, it's dusty. Now, Chevelle Hallback is a world champion great. Y'all look this fight up on the internet, because I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm waiting for some more facts to come in before I really start speaking people's names on here, because this is a platform, right? I'm going to call out the judge or the judges who was a part of the scam. I'm going to call out the promoter who was a part of the scam. And I'm going to call out the commissioner who was a part of the scam. Right? We out here in cyberspace. This is a record, right? If anybody Googles these people, guess what comes up, right? And you got a story on you. So if y'all don't set these facts straight with the Chevelle Hallback fight versus Sonia Drilling, your name is out here. Let's see. Tony's reviews. Hey, Tony, hey, thanks for chiming in. Tony gonna come in talking about, wow, hot and rough? What did I walk into? Let me dim my lights. Long time no talk to. Listen, I like it with the lights on. Tony, stop it. Y'all know I like to behave badly. Tony, don't. All right, take it there. But don't take it there. Just a little bit. We'll go there just a little bit. Okay. Brooke talking about facts and give me the double high five. Yes, baby. Chevy comes in. Ooh, I got to use that one. I don't want that kind of love when I don't deserve to be loved. Chevy, we we all love you and what you've done for us in this game. Okay. Let me tell you about Chevelle Hallback. Okay. This is why there are some names in women's boxing that really don't deserve it. Y'all know Lucia Riker. Yeah. Lucia Riker, who never fought Christy Martin. Or Christy Martin, who never fought Lucia Riker. Right? This was supposed to be the mega match that never happened. I wonder why. Why? Right? It's so easy for two women to get in the ring, but it just never happened. And these are supposed women's boxing legends, okay? Chevelle Hallback fought Lucia Riker, who was a killer at the time when she only had 4 fights. Chevy stepped up to this known killer. And this was Chevy's first, go in the game like Chevy was trying to get in the game. And this was just, Chevy was brought in as just raw meat to throw to the lion. And Chevy gave Lucia Riker everything she could, but she got stopped by Lucia Riker, right? After being in the ring and going through something like that, because Lucia Riker was no joke, right? But Lucia Riker, this is why I struggle with Lucia Riker being this legend. Lucia Riker was tough. After she got knocked out by that man, Lucia Riker was only tough when she had the upper hand, right? Lucia Riker wasn't fighting real people after a while, which I struggle with calling, a fighter like that a legend and a great, right? You to be a legend in women's boxing, you got to put you got to put your blood in the ring for women's boxing, right? She got matched up with, this is a kickboxing fight, right? So she got matched up with a man. Lucia Riker got matched up with a man in kickboxing because she was whooping ass in kickboxing. And I don't know why she signed up for this, because I just never understand. When people used to come to me with that bullshit, talk about, ooh, do you fight a man? I'm like, do I look like a damn man? Why the hell? I'm in women's I box because I want to beat up or I want to fight other women. I didn't sign up to do this to fight men. Get that dumb shit out your mind, right? I like, people used to always come to me with that, right? This was me starting to teach people how to treat me and teach people how to be respectful, right? I'm a woman boxer. I fight women. Just like men boxers. Ain't no man boxer. When a guy comes out and says, oh, I'm a boxer, nobody comes and say, oh shit, you gonna fight a bear? You should fight a bear. Are you tough enough to fight a bear? An alligator? And a shark? No, because they expect him to fight another man. Well, guess what? It's the same with women. We sign up because we want to fight other women. And that's it. So, Lucia Riker was now talked into fighting or kickboxing a man. And let me tell you something, because I've sparred men. That's all I could spar when I first started. That's why I came up so tough and gritty. That's why Sugar's different. If the wind passed by an insecure male boxer's face too hard and from one of your punches, Lord help you, all day manhood is on the line. They got to try to knock you out. Oh, they got to beat you. They got to. They swinging for the hills now, right? And you have to be smart enough, skilled enough, and humble enough to know when it's getting too dangerous in there for you as a woman, right? Because some of us expect for our corners to save us. I've seen it go really bad really fast in situations like that. So, I mean, I've been blessed. Not all the time, because I have been in there where um my corner, why, is standing by watching why while a dude is trying to kill me in there, and I've had to take my wit and my smarts to get myself through the situation, right? So, um hence, once again, that princess save me syndrome. I became now that wicked witch where, oh, you want to destroy me? Nah, boo boo. I got some poison apples and some knuckle sandwiches here that you going to taste. when you in here with me. So you might beat me, you might get a good hit, but you ain't going home not feeling nothing from me, right? We gonna both be hurt up in this mofo. Right? And then there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, you know what? It ain't worth it. You ain't finna do that to sugar. Next, right? I've shown my power in there where I'm like, no, you don't get a try. No, you don't get a go with sugar. Bye bye. Right? And so that's what we got to do. Um, let's see. Ooh, I got people coming in. Chevy says, oh no, one round with George says, love, love, love this show. Sent you DM as well. Hope to talk boxing with you sometime soon. Listen, you know I'm always here on on a Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. it starts, okay? And this is what I love to do. Yeah. Come talk this talk with me. And like I said, it doesn't have to be numbers and facts and statistics about women's boxing because all of that is bullshit. That don't matter, right? We here talking about that life. We're talking that life and real champions, real broads who live this life show up like Laura Ramsey, Brooke D. And now I got Chevy in the building on the show. Come on now. Y'all can't tell me nothing on here. Y'all can't tell me nothing, right? Because I didn't pay these champions, these gladiators, these women warriors to come on here, right? They came out of here out of mutual love and respect for Suge and the game. They know that Suge speaks the truth. They know that Suge is unbiased. They know Suge is the truth. And this is what it is, right? And listen, I'm for it because they going maybe one day they'll say, yo, Suge, you want some bullshit. And I'll be like, girl, what? Why? Right? It's all love. It's all love. Um, uh, Brooke D says, I can't wait to join you live. Oh my gosh, we're gonna show out. And she laughing. Gonna send you another DM with my number so we can talk that way instead of through DM. For sure, baby girl. Yes, yes. All right, sis. Chevy back there cracking up, talking about ha 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 ha. Chevy saying, I'm cracking up. You are welcome. Listen, I just love that. I'm all warm and tingly. I'm all warm and tingly. um, y'all, y'all got to know something about sugar, okay? Just sugar, sugar kind of like to play play around with play around with them little things, you know, play. I like to play around with them words, but you know, sometimes words have deeper meaning. You know what I'm saying? I get it from like, you know, I'm them old throwback ladies at heart, right? I used to sit. Let me tell y'all something about me. I never used to have other friends that were my age. My joy was to sit around with the old ladies, my grandmother and them, while they sit on the stoop or sit on the porch, either, you know, popping string beans or, you know, knitting or whatever. And they used to talk that talk, but they knew the children were around, right? So they used to talk that talk, but they used to say some real naughty things, but they used to know how to say it. And I loved it. And I used to be sitting there acting like I didn't know what they were talking about, but boy, I just thoroughly enjoyed it, right? So they're no longer here. I miss them. Like I said, you know, I've said this several times before because I've lost so many people that have impacted my soul. Because sugar's always just been around the elders. Um, love and talk to your elders, love and talk to your people, because there will be a day where you would give anything, anything just to hear their voice one more time. Um, Getting all, emotional about that, but that is the truth. Um, Brooks says, yes, robbery at its best. And they're talking about Chevy's fight. It was BS. It hurts so bad when we all get robbed. It hurts so bad when we get robbed, right, Brooke D? It hurts because we know it hurts when we get robbed because we know we didn't sign up to get robbed. We know we didn't sign up just to get a check. There are other tomato cans. I don't even call them broads. There are tomato cans out here that, yes, they sign up, right, to get that money. We're real. We were all contenders, and they had the nerve to treat us like tomato cans and cheapen our value and rob us, right? Because your record does determine your pay grade. It does, right? And we risk, it's more than money that we risk when we sign our names on that dotted line. We literally risk our lives because no one checks the receipts in women's boxing. No one. We are real. We are the realest. If you meet a real women's boxer, okay, clap hands, right? Because aside from women who are in the Army and Navy and all of them actually going to war, we go to war. We don't know if we're going to come home alive. We don't know if we're going to come home with our faculties. We do it because we want to make an impact. We do it because it saves us. We do it because it's the one thing that's keeping us sane. We do it because that's who we are. And it must be valued and it must be respected. And we've been doing it. We've been doing it. This shit ain't new. It's not new. And all these new wet-nosed broads coming in thinking that y'all doing it better than they did it before. No, you ain't. No, you didn't. You've got a lot to learn. You got a lot to learn, right? You might want to pay homage to some of us, right? These promoters and all of that. Y'all might want to give us a seat. Y'all might want to let us in on this. Maybe we can help y'all make some real money from this, right? Because y'all are doing a really good job mucking it up. Brooke says, yes, WBAN Sue Fox, bring Sonia on. Bring Sonia on. Bring Sonia on. Bring Sonia on this mug. Because that one right there, this is Chevelle Hallback. This is a great. She's put her time in. I know others have gotten robbed, yes. But this one has earned it, right? This one has earned it. This one determines the value of a woman boxer, Chevelle Hallback. Check her record. Look at her years in the game. You should not be able to do something like this to a fighter like that. When they do stuff like that to our great fighters, they disrespect our money. Chevelle Hallback says, Sue has put it on her page, have tried to tag Sonia, but it will not let her. Come on, Sonia. And there's no judgment here, Sonia. I just want to hear what you got to say about it, right? Because you're a part of something that is very controversial. And this is just a part of your journey, hun, right? This is something that you've got to deal with and you've got to talk about. Okay? And we're here for it. Ain't nobody going to jump on you, ain't nobody going to disrespect you. We just got to know. Brooke No Mercy Deidre says, I'll tag her. Okay. Tag the broad. Brooke says, "Yes, I will be there for it too," and laughing. Yeah, they want it. It needs to go down. Chevy says, "This is the last I heard from the commissioner 3 days ago. 3 days ago. So they still dragging this. Okay, Chevy, I'm about like we got to know we got to know, and pictures are gonna go up, right? Because we got to know who's raping women's boxing. Okay, we've got to know these crooked judges. We've got to know these crooked commissioners. We've got to know these low down promoters, right? We've got to know that. Um, Chevelle says this is what they wrote. Chevelle, thank you for submitting this information to start a review of the bout in question. I will be back in touch with next steps or if there are any questions about the information you provided. So Chevy is advocating for herself. Oh, well, look who decides to chime in. Women's Boxing Channel. So you're not mad at me no more? Huh? Or you only on here because my friends are on here. Anyway, I'm happy to see you. Thanks for coming back. Women's Boxing Channel says, uh Chevelle is an absolute stalwart of women's boxing. Love that fighter so much. She's the bomb. She lost to Riker in only her second fight. See, not even 4 fights. So thanks, Women's Boxing Channel, always coming in with the numbers. I appreciate you. Mwah. So Chevy only had 2 fights when she fought the legendary Lucia Riker. Just to let you know what's really out here, okay? Just to let you know who they did this to, okay? Um, so she lost to Riker in only her second fight. She got dissed by a fighter a few weeks ago, and I waded in. Okay, Women's Boxing Channel. Thanks for chiming in with that. Brooke D says facts. They don't want to be shown up by a woman, and I suppose she's talking about these men, especially when we were boxing back in the day when you were only sparring men in certain kitchens because we were few and far in between. Brooke D said facts. They don't want to be shown up by a woman. People are watching. They don't take it easy for sure. They don't want to be embarrassed, so they go all out. Insecure ass dudes, right? But I've had some great ones, some great men in there that kept me in check, but they allowed me to check them, right? So if I used my brain and I caught them with something, they just look at me and they just give me that smirk like, all right, you got it, right? But then I had to get back on focused, right? Because they were coming for me. They was gonna make me catch me with something and make me pay, but they weren't gonna try to kill me in there. They are the type of men that help bring us along. And there are a lot of men like that in boxing, in men's boxing as well as women's boxing, that says that you know what I'm saying, that do build us. Nate Campbell, I remember Nate Campbell, the Galaxy Warrior, uh is one of them, right? I think he used to spar with Chevy, right? But I remember that camaraderie coming up through me being an amateur and seeing that. I'm like, yo, Chevy's in there with that killer. You know what I'm saying? And I remember who was it that Chevy fought? And Chevy was on ESPN, and Chevy was like, man, Nate does not take it easy on me. He pushes me hard. And um who was that droopy eyed commentator? I forgot what he's called. I forgot what his name is. Talking about, I strongly doubt that Nate is going hard with Chevelle Hobbat. Didn't even know what the hell he was talking about. I remember this shit. It had the interview or that happened like back when I was a teen watching ESPN. y'all remember Friday Night Fights? Anyway, so I was watching that. That used to be what I used to come like run home to after my little jobby job and or after the gym, right? And I saw that. I was like, wow, that's huge, right? But you know, there, like I said, there are great male fighters. There were great male fighters. O'Neal Bell was in my kitchen and used to slap me up, but allowed me to put the beats on him too. Steve Cunningham, right, was in my kitchen. The Sims twins. Who else? I had Chris Johnson, who was an Olympic bronze medalist. Who else? Vernon Forrest. I was like his little sis, but and y'all know the Viper. You know, he would get in there with me and slap me around a bit. But these guys were a part of me. They are a part of me. They poured into me, right? And that's why I'm able to be who I am today. um what you let me go back. The block's getting hot. Whoa, yo, it's a party and it's 2 hours in. I can't let it in. I can't let it in. We 2 hours in. Yo, guess who's in? So we got Laura Ramsey in. Lady Ram is in the building right now. Okay, so I got Brooke D, Chevy, and Lady Ram. I got three baddies, three world rated women warriors on the show. I'm not paying them for it. I'm not. Where else? Where else? Where else you gonna see this? Tell me another show. Can nobody touch the Sugar Show? Can nobody touch the Sugar Show? This is happening right now. Okay. And this is real. Lady Ram is on here. Um, oh, Chevy says to Women Boxing Channel, um, thank you in all caps. And you know, Chevy has always been a gracious individual, very humble and gracious, except for when you get in the ring with Chevy and Chevy do that Chevy step. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the one I'm talking about. Chevy walking away. Don't follow Chevy though. Come back, bop, walk, boom, boom, boom. Jersey. It's the Chevy step, but it's a off spin off that Jersey Joe Walcott. Light your ass up with that right hook, with that right hand when she come back with it. But y'all need to watch Chevelle Hallback. Like, y'all need to start watching these fights. They're out here on the internet, right? Watch Brooke D. Google her. Look at for her footage out there. Look for Chevelle Hallback fights. Look for Laura Ramsey fights out here. This is what's good. This is women's boxing, right? This is what we do. This is what we're out here doing. You'll find other fighters as you start looking, and you'll like some of these broads, right? Right? But we're real. We're out here. We did it. Um, what you call it? Women's Boxing Channel says, pleasure, champ. Okay. Chevy comes in. You are the truth, and you keep it 100 all the times. No sugarcoating, period. Thank you, Chevy. Lady Ram said, Lady Ram checking in the Sugar Show. Oh my gosh. I need to smoke or something. Like, goodness. Listen, I don't even know what to say. This is amazing. I'm on cloud nine right now. Um, Women Boxing Channel says Chevy debuted in 1997 and still going. Respect, not respect, respect. Put some respect on her name. Okay, this is why Sonya Drayling, you just can't get that W. I'm sorry, you can't. Right, and we seen the fight. Right, Chevy should have went upside your head. She was being nice to you, and she got robbed for doing that. We can't let that happen. Um, Chevy comes in and says she was my second fight, talking about Lucia Riker. Okay. Michael Orr comes in. Hey, Mike. Mike, I've been missing you. I've been missing you bad. Talking about high sugar, with the lowercase high. Okay, hi. Brooke D says, "Hey, Michael Orr." Giving shots out to Mike. Uh, Chevelle Hallbach says, "Nate, my boy, I was his main sparring partner for one of his title fights. That the Galaxy Warrior was no joke, okay? Like, I've had conversations with this man. He is brilliant. He's an awesome person and a tremendous fighter. A lot of these really great fighters don't get the credit that they should, right? It like he has an amazing story too, and I am just grateful that he has included a woman boxer and women a part of women's boxing into his story. um so just really look that fighter up. Nate, the Galaxy Warrior Campbell, awesome fighter. Um, Brooke D says, yes, I've sparred with Nate when he came with Chevy to Mexico to corner me when my husband couldn't come when I beat Mia St. John the second time for the WBC title. Oh my, spit bars, bars, bars. You heard this story, and this is from the mouth of the champ. Brooke D said, Nate, a world champion male fighter, came and sparred with her when she was down in Mexico. Now you know Mia St. John was she's Mexican. She repped that side, right? Brooke D went down into the belly of the beast and beat the broad for the WBC title. We're not making these stories up. She went down. Imagine going to a whole other country, beating the queen, and coming back with her crown. That's what Brooke D did. Okay? And sparred a world champion, a man gladiator came down there to help her sharpen up and get ready to get in the ring to do so. Wonderful story. Um, Chevelle Hallback says, LOL, I remember that. Chevelle Hallback says Tuesday night fights. I suppose you're talking about when that droopy-eyed mofo tried to throw shade about what happened. Yeah. That stayed with me all them years. I'm like, get him out of here. He shouldn't even be talking about, he shouldn't even be commenting women's boxing. Like a lot of these guys, a lot of these people out here shouldn't even have that job. They need to come, they need to give us our money, right? If it ain't me, it needs to be Brooke D. It needs to be women's boxers, women in boxing, women who have walked the road, so we can really explain to the people them what they're looking at, because it's a language that we developed, only we speak, so only we can tell you what you're looking at, right? Otherwise you won't understand, you won't be able to truly enjoy it and and see what beauty women's boxing is, for those who are actually doing it proper. Um, um, ba 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 ba. So Mike Orr says, "Hey Brooke." Mike Orr says, "This chat is full of warriors. I'm glad you know it." Yo, Mike, you seen it? You see it here? Like I'm over 2 hours in and I'm not stopping. I got I got warriors, women warriors on my thread. Like I'm sitting here. You just don't understand. Like this is real. This is real. There's no one else. There's no other show. There's no other show out there talking about women's boxing that has this synergy where real women warriors are chiming in. I'm not paying them. I didn't ask them. They coming on here off the strength, off the respect of they know Sugar. Sugar don't pull no punches. Got they know Sugar got them and they got Sugar. Um uh Listen, okay, so Brooke comes in talking about, girl, I expect you to show out for my upcoming show too. Love and respect for show, baby. For show. You know I'm there. Quit playing with me. Brooke D also says the Chevy Shuffle. Ha. That's what I've always called it. I used to I copped that too. Yo, Chevy, I copped that in a couple of my fights too, right? Come on now. Imitation is the greatest form of respect, right? So I wasn't trying to steal it, but I was holding it for a minute. I had to give some of these folk out here some of that the taste of that Chevy Shuffle, right? That's what we don't see too out here. These young bras with they boring asses, right? They out here fighting boring as hell, right? We got so much sauciness. There were so many saucy women warriors, women fighters back in the day. Chevy's one of them. Uh, Melissa Hernandez, Belinda LaCrente, like that was so saucy in there that we don't even see none of that, right? You got Floyd coming in with the Philly shell. That was a skill passed down from men boxers that he used. But guess what? These young broads, they not utilizing the tools that the older broad, the ones that paved the way. We have some tools too. Y'all not respecting that worked that you can use. Y'all think y'all can reinvent the wheel? Nah, boo boo. Nah. We was in there. We did it. Watch some of us, right? You'll see what works. Um uh Chevy laughing out there, talking about not in the ring. Yeah, you better not play with Chevy in the ring. Outside, she's nice. Don't play with Chevy don't play with Chevy in the ring. Brooke says it's the no look for me, right? Right? Because when she shuffle off, she ain't looking for you, right? But when she come back, quit playing with Chevy. Quit playing. Um, Laura Ramsey comes in and says, tell Chevy and Brooke hello. You tell them. Yo, Laura's out here giving y'all shout out Chevy and Brooke, right? This is the respect thing, right? All other platforms and all other thing, these platforms are all for self as platforms. They don't celebrate the camaraderie, the love, and the respect that us real women fighters, real women boxers have for each other, right? Yeah, we'll talk shit to each other. We'll probably talk shit about each other and stuff, but at the end of the day, we respect each other. We do have each other's backs, right? The ones that we really in this game. We help each other. We call each other, oh, you fighting so and so? Look out for this or whatever. We have each other's back. We help each other spin back, right? That's what people don't understand and don't see, right? And that's what I want to encourage. That's what this platform is for. That's what the Sugar Show is for, right? We're talking about everyone else is telling you, oh, the real global and women's boxing channel or whatever, and the statistic. Nah, it wasn't never about that, right? It was about women behaving badly, right? And this, what we see in each other, because we see ourselves in each other. We see ourselves in each other, and sometimes we like what we see, And sometimes we don't like what we see. Okay? But we see each other. We different, right? We're different. We're cut from different fabric because another a punk broad out there, I'll never gel with. I can never vibe with. But I've I've talked to Laura, like just one on with the first conversation we had. We spoke for hours because we're here, and we went all different places, all different family. We mothers, kids. We went all, but because we saw here, because we are women behaving badly, we are cut from the same fabric. We think, we 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 think the same. We crazy out here, and it's okay, and we love each other for it. All of us, Brooke D, Chevy, Laura, and all the other broads that's gonna come on the show. I'm hoping y'all come and join the Sugar Show and join us on here. Um, uh, Chevy says, Brooke says, "What's up, Ram?" Chevy says, "What's up, Champ Ram?" Laura Ramsey said, "Nate didn't take it easy on anyone. I was a victim also." Oh goodness, yo, I wonder if Nate. I wonder what Nate has to say about this. I love it. I love it. Nate's a legend for that. I mean, Nate's a part of women's boxing, right? Like he poured into us. He poured into these women, and coincidentally, they're all champion material. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says it was Jonas who dissed Chevy. She says, as ex champ with experience, you should get my decisions and the business of boxing better. Natasha Jonas, I don't know, like this is the thing with Natasha Jonas. Natasha Jonas always somehow finds her, like she always ends up doing the wrong thing. And I like her little I like her little streak of success, right? But like I said, I've always said, boxing is a karmatic industry. And like the elders used to say, you watch your mouth. So Natasha, I'm putting this out here for you. You know, I like what you do. I'm a fan of what you got going on. But what you're not going to do is be disrespectful, right? Um, Everybody walks their road. Everyone walks their road. If you, Natasha Jonas, feel like you can walk the road better than Chevy, I don't see where it wouldn't hurt for you and Chevy to get in there and fight. Since you could do better, show us that you can do better with Chevy. Show us that you can do better than anybody else who ever stepped in the ring with Chevy. Since Natasha, you got something to say about Chevelle Hallback, right? That's a super fight. That's super. Chevelle Hallback versus Natasha Jonas. While we waiting on the bullshit decision of Sonia Drilling to be overturned, because we all know that that was a scam. Let's talk about a real match. Natasha Jonas versus Chevelle Hallback. I'm here for it. Um, Chevelle Hallback says, okay, champs, I have to go, but Sugar, I will be keeping in contact. To be continued next week. All right, Chevy, thanks for stopping in. All the best. Yes, I'll be listening out. I want to know what they got to say. Women's Boxing Channel said, why fight you for a fraction? Oh, this is what Natasha Jonas has to say. Why fight you for a fraction of the pay when I can fight for a belt or a unify? I have dodged no one in all honesty. You have never come up in a conversation, and unless you have a belt, you're irrelevant. You see you see what she's talking about? Now she got her people paying for people to get bumped because Chevelle Halbach was truthfully the person that was in line to fight Bergalt for that belt that Natasha got. And now she's talking about why fight you for a fraction of the pay. Anybody, like Bergalt was irrelevant. The only reason why Bergalt was relevant was because her people paid for a belt. Natasha Jonas, let me knock on your noggin. Chevelle Hallback is relevant. She has equity in the industry that you work in. She's a name. She's a great fighter. Just like in male boxing, where male fighters step up and they fight great other great male fighters to have that prestige on their record. You might want to be doing the same thing because baby, your record is irrelevant. Just don't remember a couple hop skips and jumps down your receipt. Your ass got knocked out by an irrelevant fighter. Let's not forget that, Natasha Jonas. So you can don't talk about nobody being irrelevant because your ass was a hair away from being irrelevant too. Okay? I like what you do, but girl, watch your mouth. Um, Chevelle Hallback says, well, I was about to go. What? Chevy, you still around? Yeah, Chevy, I think you need to call out Jonas, and I think you need to call her on this on what she talking about. She talking to grown ass women talking about who's irrelevant. I just don't know who on her record is relevant because Katie Taylor is new. Nobody has any equity in this game on her record. Who has she fought with any roots in women's boxing? And at the end of the day, y'all young wet nose broads need to understand this. It always comes back to the roots. You got to know who you are in this game. You don't call a great fighter, a great women's fighter, irrelevant. You don't do that. And I'm surprised these people who are talking about class and behavior ain't jumping on her for that dumbass statement. Women's Boxing Channel says Jonas was incredibly curt, saying Chevy was irrelevant. Those words were so remissive. We're women behaving badly, but like I said, these broads better watch their damn mouth because, like I said, boxing, especially women's boxing, is a karmatic industry, is a karmatic game, right? And Jonas, lest we forget, right? A couple items down your receipt, your ass got knocked out by an irrelevant fighter, right? Your ass was swimming in there trying to find a comfortable place on that canvas. Don't you forget it. Women's Boston Journal says Jonas seems to have gotten big-headed. Well, you getting paid. Your bank account, they are getting paid where we weren't. So that bank account will make your head swell. Chevelle Hallback says, I've called Jonas out on numerous of occasions. You haven't ducked anyone but Chevelle Hallback. So, okay. Right? And Chevy, I'm gonna keep calling her ass out on here. Sue, people out there in women's boxing. Natasha Jonas, yeah, she's a good fighter, right? But let's make it interesting. Natasha Jonas, guess who's in your weight class? You got two dragons in your weight class. You got Chevelle Hallback and you got Layla McCarter. You supposed to be good and all, right? Build you a legacy. You're supposed to have all the belts. You're supposed to be somebody. Well, put these dragons to sleep, okay? Because they're real. They have equity in this game, right? Their names carry more weight than whatever bullshit belt warmers that you were beating before. You went and fought a stale Chris Namus. Well, try your luck with Chevelle Hallback and try your luck with Layla McCarter, since you so bad now and you so tough and you so relevant. Women's boxing says, Chev, she's a bum dosser for dissing you like that. 100 bum dosser. This is the first time I'm hearing about that one. I think I might use one. She's a bum dosser. Yes, you don't do that. And thanks, Women's Boxing Channel, for bringing that to light. um you get real sensitive about some of these fighters, but this one, I'm me and you are on the same, we on the same team about this one. You don't disrespect great fighters. Michael Orr says, yes, shout out to all the warriors in the room. Chevelle Hallback says, all I hear from Jonas is excuses, but I have dodged no one. Put I have dodged no one where your mouth is. So Chevy says, all I hear from Jonas is excuses. Put I have dodged no one where your mouth is. Jonas, put a date on that. Put a date on it. You've dodged nobody. Okay, you've dodged no one. Put a date on it. Put a date on it. And Sue will gladly put it on in the Bible, in the Women's Boxing Bible. Women's Boxing Channel said, hey, she's now turned down Undisputed with Terry Harper. Always an excuse. Well, from what I heard, Women's Boxing Channel, she turned down Terry Harper because Terry Harper them treated her real nasty when she was irrelevant. And so now she's playing the same little petty ass trifling little girl game. I say, if she bad, she should beat Terry Harper ass too. Girl, you undisputed. You supposed to be 154 queen or a middleweight queen. This is what you do, right? You don't get the belts and sit on them and wait for them to hatch more chickens, right? You work the damn belts, right? Because you're not ready for Clarissa Shields, right? Make money, get some money in the 152, 154 weight division, right? Make something useful of yourself, right? You really not that cute. We really not excited because you have the belts. We're excited because we're hoping that you can bring more fights to your weight division. That's what we're hoping for, right? Okay. Michael Orr says, hello, champs, Chevelle, Lady Ramsey, Brooke. Women's Boxing Channel says, Chevy, don't go yet. Ah, Women's Boxing Channel says, Chevy, don't go just yet, hun. And goodness, you guys, I'm gonna have to wrap up because it's 2.5 hours in, and sugar got a full day tomorrow. But Women's Boxing Channel says, Chevy, don't go just yet, hun. Chevy says, I'm 51 years old and still a threat. We know this. We know this, Chevy. Like, ain't nobody done different in there. You don't even have to say it. This is why we're here talking about it, because these broads are talking about who's irrelevant, but ain't dispatching nobody, ain't getting no irrelevant people out the ring, right? Chevy's 51 years old. If she's irrelevant, then put her out her misery. If that's the case, right? Right? You supposed to be bad, right? These young ones, they talk a lot of shit, right? I'm not excited about Terry Harper. Terry Harper doesn't have items on her receipts for us to be excited about. Ebony Bridges just put an item on her receipt. She just dethroned, she just slayed a crone in Shannon O'Connell. I'm interested in Ebony Bridges. Ebony Bridges now has equity on her Skid Row. I don't see anybody else doing that. As much as sloppy as Jessica McCaskill is, she did dethrone the bag lady who says she has a fight coming up, but I haven't seen no dates on BoxRec, but we'll see. Supposedly, De La Hoya them gave her a shot doing some. We don't know who she's fighting yet, so we'll see. Chevy says, even though I was robbed, it's nothing personal. I respect Sonia. She's really a nice young lady. And most importantly, she did get in the ring with me. Of course. But we are women behaving badly. And Sonia needs to understand that there's accountability for what she's a part of. That's all we're saying. Okay. So if I'm not saying that Sonia needs to go and say, oh, I lost the fight or whatever, but Sonia does need to acknowledge what has happened in the ring. And Sonia does need to speak up about the decision. Whether Sonia can say, you know what, I fought my heart out. I feel like it wasn't the greatest decision, and acknowledge it, right? But you don't disappear and think, oh, I got Chevelle Halbach's name on my receipt, and think that you're gonna get away with that slimy bullshit. You're not a nice you're not a nice enough girl to have us believe that's not a bitch move, right? We're not gonna do that. Women's Boxing says, Chevy, you're incredibly relevant, like right from the start. Chevy says, these other fighters with so much excuses, no respect. Women's Boxing channel says, kiddo. Chevy on here laughing now. I'm 51 years old and still feared. It is what it is. Brooke D says, Chevy, I asked McCaskill about fighting you on one of her lives, and she asked Ramos what he had to say. No. Oh, but Brooke, why you went? This must have been before me and you linked, right? Because me and you should have been on that. Did she really turn her goofy ass around and ask Ramos a question that was directed to her? Like, what is she, remote controlled? And then I saw an interview with Ramos talking about, oh, I felt like what he felt about now, because McCaskill ain't on nothing no more since she got beat up by Chantel Cameron, talking about, oh, how he felt about how somebody treated him. Listen, booger, don't nobody care about you. It was never about you. It's about Jessica McCaskill. She's the fighter. She's the one risking it in the ring. Stop your punk ass living vicariously through a real fighter. If you want people to know how you feel about stuff or whatever, purchase some therapy sessions, because we're not here about that, and we're not here about answering. So Brooke D says, she asked McCaskill about fighting Chevy on one of her lives, and she asked Ramos what he had to say, and he says, why? She's too old now. There's no point. We have nothing to gain from it. So that's out. Do you hear how disrespectful these people are? Rick Ramos, who is titty milk compared to Chevelle Hallback's legacy. Like he was playing video games and playing with himself when Chevy was actually in the ring doing warrior shit, had the nerve to turn around and say she's old and stuff. What have you done to determine that, Rick Ramos? Why? Because you banging a girl that boxes now? Because you got people that paying the bill for her belts and stuff now? You feel like you can say stuff and be disrespectful to great women boxers, and you feel like women's boxing will allow you to say that? Sue, Eddie, all of everyone who at Wanda, all of y'all who advocate for women's boxing, y'all need to put these suckers in their place. They should not be allowed to come on our platforms and while saying these disrespectful things about our great fighters. We need to stop that. Um Chevy said, like I said, she lost that fight, but at the end of the day, I respect Sonya to the fact that she stepped in the ring with me. Laura Ramsey says, shout out to Chevy and Taz, the golden child, for headlining the Women's Boxing Championship Series in Monterrey, Mexico on March 8th. 18th for the ABO Jaguar title. So yes, uh Laura got this awesome thing coming up, or as a part of it, with her protege, Taz Brown. It's called the Women's Boxing Championship Series, which is like a buy-in, meaning that the fans get to back their favorite woman fighter to fight another contender for an authentic opportunity for the American Boxing ABO, American Boxing Organization belt, which is, I mean, like I said, it ain't about the belt, it's about the broad, but this sanctioning body is trying to bring it back to where we are authentically matching great contenders, and therefore that will strengthen this belt and this sanctioning. So I'm really proud of Lady Ram for taking the initiative to even the playing field, and to make it fair. um I I think that's breathing a bit more life, and it's helping our industry, women's boxing, evolve. And it's just it's the next level, and I'm here for it. I, ooh, my Restream says I've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Okay. Does that have something to do with us? If that's the case, okay, let's celebrate. Okay, so look at Taz. Hey Taz, how you doing? I heard you put on a good show with this last fight that you had. You didn't come out with the W, but I know you always go in there the throw down, and I see you out here. I remember when you was just golden gloving it down there. And now look at you, a pro fighting on dancing and stuff. Good job. Good job, Golden Child. I'm looking forward to your growth and all the best with this thing coming up. Listen, take no prisoners, March 18th. Brooke D says, what's up, Taz? Text you, hit me back, girl. Taz says, will do. Michael Orr said, hey, Taz, I profiled you on my show, Female Friday. Yes, he sure did. Brooke D says, yes, Taz, he did. I was on for that one, Mike. Yeah, I missed out on that, but I know it was good. Michael Orr says, yes, you were Brooke. We would love to have you on again. Okay, so it looked like it might be a repeat. And listen, if that happens, it's going to be a three-peat because I'm coming. I'm gonna come on there and we're gonna have a little three. We're gonna give Mike some love from three baddies. I'm sure he'll like that. Chevy says, I said that about Sonia referring to her fighting me and Jonas will not. Yeah, I see it. I see it, Chevy. I think Jonas is now just like I said, doing the wrong thing. Instead of being respectful, now she would, now she doing what she shouldn't do, and she forgot about how karmatic the industry is. And if she's not careful, her ass will be right back on that canvas. If not by you, by somebody. If she don't quit playing with grown ass women out here. Um, Brooke D says, "Oh my gosh, yes she did. I asked her if she would fight Chevy because Chevy wants to fight her. She said, let's ask Ramos what he has to say." Then laughed and said, "Yeah, she's irrelevant too, basically." Oh, well, guess who's irrelevant now? Guess who's irrelevant now? I think she's trying to hide it out. Girl, we know you ain't. Girl, you them 140 belts supposed to be snatched from up under your little ass, right? Jessica McCaskill, right? Because you thought you was gonna go down and beat Chantel Cameron, and I warned everybody in an earlier show, Chantel Cameron ain't nothing to play with, right? She a little bulldog. So you went down and got your ass whooped. Meaning that you should have vacated 147 because any respectable sanctioning body got to go by the rules. Anytime you leave your post or leave your throne to go down and fight for another title, um that means you give up, you relinquish your titles. So them 140 belts, 147 belts should be available now. But we'll see, because that's one thing about Jessica McCaskill. She knows her people them got that money, right? Her people them got that money and they will pay the bill. So we'll see what's going on with her. But right now she's quiet. She's she must got I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Rick must have put her ass in a corner and told her not to say nothing until he's good and ready for her to say something, since she you know she has him speaking for her. Like, what, this is women's boxing, right? And in this day and time, she got what you got to say, Rick? Rick, what do you say about that, Rick? Don't you go in the ring, and ain't you a fighter? Aren't you supposed to be about this life, right? Talk your shit. Let Rick talk his stuff. We want to hear from you. Um, Chevelle Hallback says, "Ha ha ha, Ramos don't want to see that." Laughing. Know how scared they sound. All they have is my age to use and excuse. They are hilarious. Chevy, like I said, that is what they're gonna use. That's the ammo for them. That's the ammo that they use, right? They're going to use your age against you, and that's why you need to breathe fire. And any you don't give, ain't no warm up round, Chevy. No more warm up rounds. No more giving these bro. You've been there, done that. Ain't no broad out here coming out with nothing that you have not seen in this ring before. Stop giving them chances. I'm about to wrap the show up, but let's I'm gonna finish off with these last couple comments. Brooke D says, "I'm gonna ask her to come on my show for an interview." Okay, do that. Brooke D, I'd like to see. I'd like to see what happens there. Um, I would also like. There's so many people in line. Mary McGee is also a fighter. I would love to see. Uh Jessica McCaskill fight. I think they're from around the same area, and they're familiar with each other. Mary has also called out McCaskill. So in all the sea of irrelevance, I just don't understand why she won't bring her ass to really fight a contender instead of looking in the bargain bin and finding people. I bet you, I'm just going to bet you that they come up with trying to fight Sonya. Um, what's her name? The one that just fought Chevy. I bet you they come up with trying to fight her just to make get back and make her irrelevant, indirectly relevant again. Um, Brooke said, without Ramus though, good luck with that. You think you're going to get Jessica McCaskill on your show without Rick Ramos? She'll pretend that he's not there, but that motherfucker be on. All right, they gonna flag me. Listen, they're supposed to be PG. Now you got me saying the MFs. I got to go, y'all. But you know, Rick gonna be up under the table. He gonna be somewhere in the background. The sign language in her. What the damn say? You know she don't think for her damn self. Anyway, Chevy says, love you guys. I'm out. All right. Love you too, Chevy. Thanks for sticking around. Brooke D says, hit me up later, Chevy love. Women Boxing Channel gives says all X's. I think the X's is kisses. Women Boxing Channel says, bye, Chev. And Brooke D says, they're in the same area, Chicago and Indiana, my stomping grounds. I beat Mary in Indiana. I remember that. I remember that with your badass Brooke. I'm going to give you a call. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up the Sugar Show. Okay, this was a wonderful show. Like, I'm going in almost 3 hours. I know a lot of y'all ain't even going to be able to watch this whole show in one sitting. But what you do is if you got to eat the elephant, what you do is you eat it one bite at a time. This is a great show. Lively Women's Boxing Channel says bye, Suge. Oh, bye, baby. Brooke D says peace out, baby. And yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all this, okay? It was live, it was wonderful, it is what it is. um Hit me up, like, subscribe, share, subscribe, share, subscribe, share. Michael Orr says, great show, Sugar. Thank you, baby. And thanks for checking in on me and chiming in. Like, subscribe, share, y'all. Mwah, mwah. Okay. Every Wednesday night, starting at 7:30. Right? We going into almost 10:30. Okay. That's how live this show is. All right. Drop in when you can. Sugar gonna keep it going. I love y'all, my misfits that chime in. Okay. Check out the women's boxing on Fridays with Mike Orr and Seti Dam on Talkin Fight. Okay, like I said, I always try to stop in and catch the party. If not, okay, y'all always know 7:30 on Wednesday. Sugar's face is in the place. I love you guys. Till then, be safe and bye bye.